in the first round, interviewer also asked me about how I solved problems in the online assessment. They
Mm-hmm.
actually had my code, and my code was a bit messy. I had commented a lot of lines because I was trying to come up with the optimized approach, but I couldn't come up with it. So
Mm-hmm.
I had shortage of time, and I ran the solution using a brute force approach.
Mm-hmm.
So he asked me to explain why I commented this code and why I did this. So
Mm.
uh, if if you are passing OAs
Using
through
cheating.
jugards, keep that in mind.
So, hello everyone. Today we have a special guest on our channel. We have Aryan. So, Aryan, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Aryan. I am an ST1 at OYO. I graduated in 2023, this year as only, from Chitkara University. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so Aryan is here to talk about his interview experience at OYO. So, over to you, Aryan. Tell us everything in details.
So yeah, OYO visited our campus last year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We received an online link, and up, after the resume shortlisting, people
Mm-hmm.
received an online link, which consists of three DSA problems.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was around graphs, one of
Mm-hmm.
them was around stacks, and another was a trees problem.
Mm-hmm.
So these were medium to hard level questions.
Mm-hmm.
It was around topological sorting and general stack problems.
Yeah.
So we were given a time limit of 1.5 hours and three questions. So based on that, uh, people who cleared that were shortlisted. Around 20 people from my college were shortlisted. A lot of people were able to solve all the three problems, but
Mm-hmm.
due to, क्या कहते हैं उसको, piracy,
Oh, that haha, cheating, plagiarism,
अरे क्या बोल,
plagiarism.
plagiarism,
Yeah.
yeah. So the Plague software
Mm-hmm.
detected it, and people who had unique solutions were shortlisted for the round.
Mm-hmm.
So the around 20 people were shortlisted for interviews.
Mm-hmm.
So the first interview round, same, it was around DSA only.
Mm-hmm.
The first problem was around linked list. It was
Mm-hmm.
a medium level lead code problem. And the second one was the first problem's variation only.
Mm-hmm.
It was a the first problem was a bit more generalized. Like
Mm-hmm.
how would you solve a general problem for
Yeah.
this? And the interviewer had asked me to solve it using recursive approach.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I was able to come up with solutions for these problems.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, the interviewer asked me another problem, which was around heaps and priority queues.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a sliding window problem
Mm-hmm.
with a heap and priority queue approach.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked me details about priority queues operations, insertion and
Mm-hmm.
deletion, which operation takes how much time, and all of that. And it was my first interview, so I was a bit nervous.
Mm-hmm.
So I fumbled a little bit, but the interviewer relaxed me, and eventually I was able to come up with a solution. So after the first round, the interviewer was convinced with my solutions,
Mm-hmm.
and later I was moved to the second round. I
Mm-hmm.
received the link for the interview. The second round was a bit harder.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it was again based on data structures and algorithms and
Mm-hmm.
CS fundamentals.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, First, he asked me a graph question. It was a graph hard problem.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was based around BFS,
Mm-hmm.
and initially we had a discussion about the problem, the
Mm-hmm.
solution, and later on he asked me to code it on Google Doc.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, there I coded and coded the solution, and he basically dry ran all the edge cases that would come up,
Mm-hmm.
and we had a discussion about how this would handle all the edge cases. And he seemed pretty satisfied. This was around 40 to 45 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
including the problem discussion, the code part, and the discussion part. And after this, he moved on to other questions related to operating systems. I was
Mm-hmm.
asked about semaphores, mutex, race condition. Yeah, pretty much this only.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, he asked me about questions related to DBMS,
Mm-hmm.
acid properties, all of that. And then Then I was asked about like general questions about my
Mm-hmm.
project, about he had asked me to explain my project in brief.
Mm-hmm.
It was a data science project, so he asked me how this process works, data cleaning, data pre-processing, and all of that. I explained that to him. Later on, around 5 to 10 minutes, he we had a general discussion
Mm-hmm.
about his experience at OYO,
Mm-hmm.
about what he does in his team,
Yeah.
and I asked him what would be initial expectations from a fresher, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was it. And after that, I was expecting an HR round as well, but that didn't happen. So after this, after around 2 to 3 days, the results were declared, and I was finally selected.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's it. Yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention in the first round, interviewer also asked me about how I solved problems in the online assessment. They
Mm-hmm.
actually had my code, and my code was a bit messy. I had commented a lot of lines because I was trying to come up with the optimized approach, but I couldn't come up with it. So
Mm-hmm.
I had shortage of time, and I ran the solution using a brute force approach.
Mm-hmm.
So he asked me to explain why I commented this code and why I did this. So uh, if if you are passing OAs
Using
through
cheating.
jugards, keep that in mind.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
वही कि कोई ऐसे चीटिंग करके पास नहीं हो जाए, right? So Aryan, what advice would you give to students who are watching this, who are going for their first interviews for an interview of a company like OYO? What advice would you give to the students watching this?
Yeah, so I would take your interviews as a discussion only.
Mm-hmm.
If you have done enough lead code problems, it will seem like that. Practice all the popular problems, graphs, trees, DP, and have one or two quality projects in your resume. Don't fill
Mm-hmm.
up your resume with 4 or 5 minor projects. Instead, have one or two quality projects and know ins and outs of that.
Yeah, correct.
Uh, that's it.